There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy, We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people. These folks are evil.
They want to eliminate what they call the deep state. The deep state is a cadre of professionals dedicated to honoring the Constitution, the laws of this country, and carrying out the policies of the Congress and the President. The deep state dedicated.
Think about all the lies we've been told, all the attacks, everything that's happening, international, national, local, everything. It has hit the fan, folks. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. If you're not here, I don't know where the hell you are up here. Social media is killing everybody, folks, everybody, because the shit is out of the horse. It's out of the horse on Hunter. It's out of the horse on Joe. It's out of the horse on the Pelosi's. It's out of the horse on big-time investors like George Soros, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jeffrey Epstein, the Clintons. It's out of the horse we all know. And trust me, folks, scorched earth, we ain't seen shit yet. You haven't seen anything yet. I mean, we have seen a lot. No doubt about that. Folks, I hope you like your satire. I hope you like it with a big spoonful of vinegar and salt, because it's going to make you pucker up and go, argh. Folks, remember in 2020, just like in 2020, police, sheriff's departments around the country told people, you're on your own. Well, in Chicago, it's not even 2020-like. It's not even 2020-ish. There aren't riots. It's just everyday violence and crime. In Chicago, the police are now telling business owners to install shatterproof glass, bulletproof glass, shatter-resistant glass, impact glass, because of strings of break-ins, business after business after business having their glass smashed in and their goods stole. Yeah, there's no problem with crime. Let's not punish theft, thievery. No. Folks, the police, they don't want to do their job. It's Chicago. They can't do their own job. You're on your own. Chicago, I'm sorry about that. You voted for it. You're now going to reap the fucking whirlwind. As for the rest of us, criminals around the country, folks, are looking at what's happening in places like Chicago, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Portland, anyone? Seattle, anyone? Folks, another major corporation is pulling out of San Francisco 100%. Another serious company, folks, phone company, has a pink logo, which makes me not want to use them, even though I don't already, but makes me not want to use them even more. T-Mobile, gone. They're tired of the bullshit. People are getting sick and tired, folks. Now, I've got a good story, because I like to be positive and optimistic. I know this morning I did 0 Dark 30, and Uman said the morning videos were gritty. Before I went into the jungle and got some exercise, dodging snakes and fucking alligators, spiders the size of my bicep, right? I did another one. because we're all lab rats, all of us, as if we did something wrong. They're the stinking rats. That's right. And the rats are jumping the ship and hiding, or they're digging in, and they're going to turn on us bad. Anyways, let me give you a little good story where the police, hey, folks, the Second Amendment is the police. The right of the people, us, me and you, to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We said, okay, police, sheriffs, whoever the constabulary is, you can keep the peace as best you can. But if you can't, we'll deal with it ourselves. Now, this is a huge story, right? A man unleashes his Second Amendment rights because he went home, opened his door, and guess who was inside? It may as well have been redcoats and the government, but it wasn't in 1776. No, instead he saw intruders in his house wearing gloves and masks, holding his son and tasing the shit out of his dog. That's right, holding a gun against his son. Folks, I know someone out there who held a gun against someone's son. That son of a bitch is going to pay. Not by me, someone else will get him. But this man said, you know what? I'll do the work for you, police. I'll retake my Second Amendment right. And he shot the sons of bitches. One of them, I think, is dead. The other went to the hospital. Saved his son's life. Saved his dog's life. Saved the police from having to show up. Except to fill out just a report. The man is not arrested and is being told he was within his rights. Because damn right he was within his rights. We are all within our rights to defend ourselves, others, our country against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Folks, I am pissed the fuck off. You bet I am. You bet I am, folks. Because we have a government out there. The Biden regime. Guess what they're doing? They're sending another, that's right, folks, another $1.2 billion in aid for the military over to Ukraine. And this includes air defense systems, which means missiles and bombs and rockets galore. All while saying, fuck you to America, to you, to me, to all of us. Right? The border is about to be overrun with illegals, way more than they have altogether. There's close to, I think, 750,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Who has time to count that many illegals? Let's just call it 700,000, 800,000 illegals on the border, en masse, getting ready to come over. Getting ready. It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't 1 million. How many illegals will pop up out of the grasses, sagebrush, and the desert the second the whistle blows? How many? Biden says, screw you to America. You bet that's exactly what they say. That's exactly what they think. And that's exactly where they're going. Get your questions into man. This is the afternoon monologue followed by your Q&A, right? Because you guys are the inner circle. You're supporting this show guerrilla style. You want guerrilla reporting and guerrilla satire? You've got it right here. You want to listen to some vanilla, silly bullshit news? You want to listen to some sanitized, wimpy crap? You go ahead and listen to other channels where they sit back and say, yeah, things are just kind of bad and look out. Yeah. Right? They don't want to get down into the weeds and the sticks and the mud and the grit and the scum where we have to go to see what's really happening. Get your questions down below. Man will put them up when we get to the bottom of the hour. No, the top of the hour. When we get 30 minutes through. We're 10 minutes in right now, and we've got a lot more to go. So here we go. Biden giving another $1.2 billion to Ukraine. How many people could that help right here? How many? How many, right? How many? Fuck you to America. 800,000 people going to come across the border. You bet. You bet. I mean, this is incredible, folks. Absolutely incredible. We're told We're told this. We're told. I couldn't believe it when I read this. I want to read you the headline because it's that bad. It's that bad, folks. Karine Jean-Pierre says Joe Biden has, quote, has been closely consulting, end quote, has been closely consulting with Kamala Harris. And the White House is saying 700,000 illegals to 1 million illegals. So is it more than 1 million even if the White House is going to play the number down? But don't worry. Joe Biden has been in close consultation with Kamala Harris. Really close consultation, folks. Close consultation. What is he consulting her on? The death of America and how to get there faster? Let's give all of our money to a foreign war that is only benefiting mega corporations which are screwing around over in Ukraine. Let's closely consult on how to screw over America in every way possible. Legal, social, educational. Let's lie, cheat, and steal and use the Department of Justice, the IRS, the Attorney General's office, yes, and the FBI to intimidate, harass, threaten, and prosecute Americans who have committed no crimes. I mean, what's he consulting with her about? The cost these immigrants are going to cost America, you and I? Is he consulting with her on how much they need to spend on every single illegal? Already, based on their own numbers, 3 million people have come over in the last 2 years plus. 3 to 4 million. They don't really know. And now we're about to have up to 1 million, according to their own numbers, jump the border, storm the border, as the day comes when all restrictions are gone and the federal government can do its job by not doing its job, which is protecting this country. Unbelievable, folks. Just it's unconscionable. It's disparaging. It's humiliating to be an American and have this pile of shit in office. It is. And he's consulting with Kamala Harris, whose one positive attribute in her political career, not for America, but for herself, has been to jump down on her knees as quickly as she can anytime an opportunity exists. Unfucking believable. Shocking. Stunning. Incredible. I mean, get this, folks. Mark Levin, who is a radio show announcer, has called for Joe Biden's removal under the 25th Amendment. You know, I don't care how they get him out of office. Impeach him. 25th A him. I don't care. Right? This is incredible. Others are calling for it too. What has he done wrong? Let me think of a few for you. How about the immigration crisis that we just discussed? How about the ballooning debt that he's lying about? And we'll get to more of that here in a second. What about our inflation? Yeah. What about the woke policies that the Biden administration is forcing down our throats via the Education Department, the FEC, SEC, right? Because it's in the investment world with their ESG stuff. It's in the law now. The fucking Supreme Court justices that come up can no longer tell us what a woman is. Everything that's woke, right? How about holding kids hostage in schools and instead of teaching them, pushing radical trans and LGBT stuff all over them, as well as radical critical race theory, right? They support, Joe Biden supports child castration, child sterilization, child mutilation. He has screwed us out of our petroleum reserves, all while letting babies go hungry. Remember that? Remember the baby formula crisis? He withdrew out of Afghanistan and screwed not only the people of Afghanistan, not only our allies, but American civilians who were working in Afghanistan, got no warning. And Americans died, and Americans suffered, and Americans were tortured, and Americans have been killed, and Americans have been enslaved by these people. He tried forcing the Jim Jones juice on everybody with every lie, cheat, and steal technique, period. Duress, threatening people's jobs, careers, reputations, their contracts. It's funny when the government wants to sue you over a contract. There's no way to get the fuck out of it. You sign a contract with the government, they can cancel it because you don't kiss their ass and suck up to them and give them what they want. All Joe Biden, folks. All Joe Biden. He tried pushing more radical abortion crap. Every single scandal that you can think of. China, pharmaceutical companies, Ukraine, business dealings, pay to play, everything Hunter Biden, secret documents. Remember that? I haven't forgot any of this shit, folks. Donald Trump Jr. said this at one point. And I'm not a huge Donald Trump Jr. fan. I just think the quote is perfect. I'm a big enough fan. The guy's got balls. He'll step out there and say some shit. I don't agree with his take on Bud Light. Fuck you, Bud Light and Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch and every other woke company. This is America. Get the fuck out of our faces with your shit. Stop threatening us. We're going to vote with our wallets. It's called boycotting. And President Trump came out today and spoke against Budweiser, Bud Light, Anheuser-Busch. Thank you, Mr. President, for stepping on that ring with us to fight them, the woke crap. All right. So Donald Trump Jr. said this: if the 25th Amendment wasn't designed specifically for Joe Biden, what the hell was it for? He says, I mean, seriously, how much more of this shit do we have to take? Where is, folks, where is Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, who's supposedly a Republican? Did I or did I not say this sellout piece of shit is going to let everything slide that he can? If he's not forced to do something in that contract, in that agreement, everyone, including Matt Gaetz, including Boebert, Marge Taylor Greene, they all fucked up. The number one thing should have been, if we make you Speaker of the House, there will be instant impeachment hearings, proceedings, and votes. Instead, how far are we into this shit? Months now since McCarthy took over. Where's the impeachment? Don't we have enough? Don't we have enough, folks? Everything Joe Biden does is garbage. Domestically, internationally. He's a complete and total flop. But if you are the deep state, if you're big business, like our good buddy Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett and Jeffrey Epstein, right? Yeah, who's probably alive somewhere on an island, right? Bill Gates, George Soros, the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab. If you're one of them, you think that Biden is your best friend. Look at all this shit he's doing for you. And speaking of Warren Buffett, I touched on that this morning. Well, I solidly jumped up and down on it about the man, right? Peter Flaherty. He was the one who was the shareholder, and he criticized Warren Buffett's connection to Bill Gates, who was connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, he came out and said, hey, I really touched the third rail on a mention of Jeffrey Epstein in that Berkshire Hathaway meeting. The people who have invested in Berkshire Hathaway have a right to have their investments well cared for. That's right. And I feel the same way, folks, about Elon Musk. I feel the same way about every corporation out there that has someone who stands up and politically exposes themselves. And by the way, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, it's called guilt by association. Guilt through your past deeds. I did not get on the Lolita Express and go to Little St. James Island. I'm not part of that club. But it seems like if you're part of that club, you get a frickin' pass. Oh, by the way, Christopher Wray. Oh, by the way, Merrick Garland. Oh, by the way, FBI in general. By the way, mainstream media. Where is the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? who dealt with him after he was convicted as a child, shall we say, prostitution purveyor, talking young women into being, sexual partners and then wanting to reward them with money. I'm pretty sure that's prostitution. Right. Anyways, yep, here we are. Folks, that's the room we're in now. I mean, a lot of people say, John, there's too much hyperbole there. You're just too loud. You're just too extreme. That's bullshit. Share that internet address up here. Get people to wake the fuck up. Am I too loud? Am I too red-pilled? I don't think so. Elon Musk doesn't think so either. He didn't say, hey, that John guy, that prepared mind, he's all right. He didn't have to. I'll tell you why I know, folks, that he thinks I'm all right, because of what he said. He called the Allen, Texas mall shooter, the narrative behind it, quote, a very bad psyop, end quote. So Elon Musk is now using patriot terminology to describe the government activity out there, the mainstream media activity out there, the collusion between the government and mainstream media to push a narrative. So they're calling it a psyop. He called it a psyop. Is Elon Musk red-pilled? Now, once again, folks, if I owned anything having to do with Tesla or Elon Musk, I would have some big problems with that investment. I don't, but I would have some problems with it. That is not, folks, investment advice. This is what I think about my world. If I had money to invest, I'm not going to put it somewhere where someone can be completely destroyed because of their political position. I just wonder, though, is Elon Musk becoming more red-pilled by the day? Is he waking up and discovering who his friends really aren't as he gets shit on and crapped on every single day? Unbelievable, incredible, stunning revelations, folks, are going to be coming our way in the next week to week and a half. How many bank failures between now and the 20th, folks? How many? Between now and the 20th of May, how many more banks are going to fail? Any idea? How many banks are going to be saved by the government? How many banks are going to be bought up by everyone else? I have no idea exactly how many, but I tell you what, I don't think it's going to be very long. The mainstream media, folks, is not our ally. They're not our friends. They're complete and total sellouts and losers. They think they're going to be part of the club because they're carrying water for their masters, right? Well, if I just serve them well and bring them what they want and give them what they want as the mainstream media, then they'll love us. They'll appreciate us. They'll need us. No, absolutely wrong. Mainstream media's job is to destroy America through propaganda, lies, illusions, and information, disinformation, misinformation. And then guess what? When the elites have fucked the whole country up, they can throw out the mainstream media too and just throw them to the wolves. Who gives a shit? You're a bunch of useful idiots in the mainstream media. Maybe they're starting to smell it. Maybe they're starting to feel it. I'll tell you what. I wonder if they've had enough. At some point, will the media realize that they're a bunch of sacrificial morons? Well, it's CNBC. That's right, CNBC. Rick Santelli decides, he's had it with Joe Biden and his lies. This is his quote. How does the president get away with saying that he's cutting the deficit? It's funny that a mainstream media character would ask that question. How does the president get away? Essentially, he's saying with lying, because he lied about the deficit. He's cutting the budget. He's reducing the deficit. How? By spending more money than ever and anyone else? Unbelievable. So he asked the question, how does the president get away with saying that he's cutting the deficit? Look in the fucking mirror. Right over there, buddy. The guy you're looking at in the mirror at MSNBC and CNBC and CNN and ABC and CBS and NBC. Name your news channel. The people that see themselves in the mirror are the ones who are doing it. How does he get away with it? Because you and your fucking colleagues are allowing him. Instead of bringing it to the American people's attention, he's lying and calling him a liar and telling the American people, we're going to give you the truth. We're going to give you the facts. No more propaganda. No more bullshit. Here's the news. The president said this. Here is the facts. You decide. Is that a lie or not? We're not going to tell you what to think. Here's the facts. The FBI has been lying. Here's the facts. The Attorney General has been lying. Here's the facts. Hillary Clinton, liar. Here's the facts. Chelsea Clinton, liar. Bill Clinton, liar. Pelosi, liar. Chuck Schumer, liar. Oh yeah, Kevin McCarthy, liar. Everyone in politics, if their mouth is moving, they're lying. By calling it out and saying, people, you need to get pissed off. And it's your country, you need to fix it. Take it back and fix it. That is something the mainstream media could do, and they could be hailed once again as purveyors of truth, protectors of the American way, right? Citizens who understand the Constitution and their First Amendment free speech. Maybe Rick Santelli, maybe he's looked in the mirror and went, oh shit, it's me. And guess what? You, Rick Santelli, are not allowed to tell the truth. You can't speak any more than I can. You've gone way too far by saying, how does the president get away with saying that? Tell you what, Mr. Santelli, how does it feel to have no free speech? Because yours is going to be taken from you as well. Your voice will be silenced, and no one will give a shit when you're not on CNBC. Even fewer people will give a shit about you if you're kicked off. You are not Bill O'Reilly, and you are certainly not Tucker Carlson, and no one gives a shit, Rick Santelli. You won't get 1,000 people on YouTube to subscribe to you because you're full of shit. Well, day late and dollar short, but welcome to the party, pal. It's SHTF. Are you ready? Folks, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Go to thepreparedmind.club and get what you need. Get what you need and get prepared. When the mainstream media starts going, hey, wait a minute, you know things are bad. They're not good. They're not good. Maybe certain people in the mainstream media, since they have access to the information, are looking at everything going, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. This is all Biden stuff. That's bad, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. That's more Hunter shit. Bad, 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 bad. Holy crap. We better say something about this. Sorry. I mean, they completely ignored the southern border. Well, except when AOC wanted to go down there. Remember that? AOC wanted to go down there and do a bullshit photo op lying session about kids in cages. Not anymore. They want to pretend like all these illegals are good for America. I'm consulting with Kamala Harris. Daily. Very much consulting. Yeah. Folks, the people coming across the border are not all trash, but many of them trash. Think about who's coming across that border. Now, I have known, and I still know, and I do know many, many, many Americans of Hispanic, Mexican, Central American, South American descent. I know people who are Mexican and they're in America. I know people who are Honduran in America, and Guatemalan in America, and Panamanian in America, El Salvadorian in America, and they don't like what's going on. And a lot of these people, I'm sure, are very moral, decent, good people trying to get here. But I'll tell you what, let me tell you about this one, right? A news reporter, a talk news reporter in El Paso, Texas. Guess what? He ran into one of these beautiful Mexicans or South Americans or Central Americans, and he said, hey, fuck you, Americans. That's right, folks. These people coming across the border, they need to get in line and do it right. But instead, they're going to flood our country. It's called an invasion. And the federal government has been charged with protecting our borders. Oh, don't worry. They'll protect the borders from you. They'll make sure that you can't drive and you can't go where you want and you can't do what you want unless you wear your seatbelt, put on a fucking helmet, pay your taxes, kiss their ass. But these people coming across, they're model citizens, right? Model citizen. Hardly. They are scum, and they are costly scum, and they're going to cost us. And once again, this guy's attitude, he knew enough English to say, fuck you, Americans, as they enter our country illegally. and screw us over and steal our money and spit right in our faces. I wish this top news reporter had the fucking balls to grab the guy and wrestle him to the ground and put some handcuffs on him and take him to the police station and say, I just caught this guy. And I've got him on film saying, fuck you Americans. Obviously not a model potential citizen. We need more people saying, you know what? We got a Second Amendment. We got a First Amendment. We're going to use both. It's coming. I'm not promoting violence, dangerous or harmful behavior. Not doing any of that stuff. I don't have to. You guys know what needs to be done. I'm not advising anyone or recommending anything. I'm not glamorizing what I know is going to have to happen in this country. Not all of us are going to enjoy it. Not all of us are going to live through it. Not all of us are going to have a good old time. I think a lot of people are going to have a good time with what's coming, but not all of us. And the people that are going to have a good time, trust me, it's going to be messy. And people will, I think, ultimately realize that what they knew was coming is going to be harder, unbelievably harder than they ever imagined. Now, it is, guess what? It is time for the inner circle. My 30-minute monologue is up, and I'm going to turn everything over to you. What do you want to talk about? What do you have to say? What are your thoughts? What are your predictions? Get them into Ooman. Let's take a look. Here we are. It's your turn. Ooman, you, sir, have the con. What are we going to do? We're going to start with the Charlanator. It says Mayor Larry Beetlejuice Lightfoot is declaring a state of emergency due to the influx of illegal immigrants. That's right, folks. The illegals are flooding California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. But guess what? Once they get across the border, who is sending them around the country? That's right, not Republicans alone. The federal government is sending illegals around the country. Hey, share and share alike. Isn't that the communist way? Thank you, Joe Biden, for living up to your word there. But here we are. Now, places like Chicago, Washington, D.C., in particular, Martha's Vineyard, Kamala Harris's estate, they're getting illegals shipped there by governors like our good friend Governor Abbott and our good friend Governor DeSantis. You bet, folks. Sending them directly where they need to be. Oh, yeah, New York City. And say, how do you like me now, right? How do you like this illegal immigration? State of emergency. I wonder if Mayor Beetlejuice Lightfoot, a.k.a. Larry, Light and the Loafers, I wonder if she identifies as a she, I wonder if she plans on staying in office saying, we've got a state of emergency. I can't leave the office yet. Can't stop being mayor. The people, elected a new person, but can't let him in office yet. If he identifies as a he, I couldn't tell you, but I do believe he is a socialist. It should be a crime to be a socialist and hold office, because everything that socialists want and do is contrary to the good of the people who want to live in their republics. State of emergency. Every state should call a state of emergency having to do with these illegals and call up the National Guard and round them up and deal with them. I don't care if you put them in a bus or a frickin' semi-truck. Hand them all a frickin' Slurpee as a token of kindness and mercy, and shut the doors and drive them back to the border, turn the truck around and dump them out. Dump them and say, welcome back to the country which you entered the United States from illegally, unlawfully, without permission, and you have been kicked out with great steaming prejudice, not racial prejudice, but national prejudice. This is our country, not yours. Unbelievable. We're going to have more, folks. It's just begun. I think it was at the Karen Carpenter. It is only begun. It has only just begun. What were the lyrics on that? Anyways, the late, great Karen Carpenter. Right here, folks. That's right. This little airsoft toy right here. I hope you've got yours ready. I hope you have lots of freedom seeds. You might also want to call them liberation seeds, because every time you plant one where it needs to be, a little piece of liberty will come to exist. Every communist, every socialist, every anti-American, every fruitcake, every violent leftist needs to have a little taste of freedom. Yes, they do. You know what I found? I can be a bit of a smartass, but double entendres actually are understood by leftist idiots, and they don't like it. And I've often said things that had two meanings, or two meanings could be interpreted from what I said. And they said, I can't believe you just said that. I said, I didn't say anything. You merely transliterated what I said and took the worst meaning out of it. It's good to be a satirist, folks. It's good to be a smartass. It's good to have free speech. It's good to say what's on your mind. Especially good. It's especially good when they understand and they can't do a damn thing to you about it. YouTube hates me. The little fruitcakes at YouTube hate me. All the little fruitcakes on YouTube that watch YouTube, they'd hate me. And I can't wait till they get to pay for their crimes. Oh, it's a crime, folks. Number one, you've pissed off the Almighty. That's a crime. Let's not going to use the word sin. Let's just use the word crime. You violated nature's law by being a socialist. I can't think of one animal out there that lives on socialism, because they're all extinct. Any of them that have tried fail. I know some people say, well, look at the honeybees, John. Look at the bees. They've got a hive. Well, guess what? Bees don't do the least they can and live off of others. Every bee goes out there and works for itself and puts all the honey away it can. And so the whole hive exists because every worker bee busts its ass. Yeah. Because if that was really communism, the beehive, guess what? Every bee wouldn't get up and go fly around and get honey every day. They would all sit around the hive and do nothing, because that's what communists do. Nothing. They expect everyone else to provide for them. They expect everyone else to give them. They expect everyone else to make their lives easier. Is that how the honeybee works? No, it isn't. So they can take any analogy that they have to animal units and say, oh, see, that's how communism works. No, it doesn't. That shows you how every single unit is out for itself, protecting itself. They just happen to live close together. All right, let's move on. Mr. Ooman, I'm ranting and raving. And here is Charles Gentry, who's also known for his ranting and raving. Here we go. This is what Charles says. A large, quote, Jacob's ladder generates enough of an EMP to disrupt communications at 7 miles with 12-foot horns. Disrupted vehicles 2 miles out. Jacob's ladder, if I understand correctly, is an electromagnetic device. If you wish, look up Tesla and his devices. Now, I mean, Tesla, folks, I ran into a stranger the other day. I wanted to talk to him about his hybrid automobile. He had a Toyota hybrid, and which means it has a very small little motor. It's kind of like a Prius, right? It has a very small motor and a few batteries, and that's how it works. And he was happy with it. Interestingly, he knows that the entire system, even though he was someone from Portland, So you can guess the politics right there. And he's relocated to the South. And so you can guess maybe a little more about his politics. But he was like, yeah, this whole thing is a sham. Whole thing is a sham. Right? When we discussed Tesla and some of his inventions, he's like, oh yeah, Tesla had a car that ran on static electricity. You know, Westinghouse wasn't going to allow that. Right? No one was going to allow that. The FBI came and cleaned out his safe upon his death. Oops, sorry, FBI, you've been shitheads forever. Anyways, yes, EMP, folks, electromagnetic pulse. There's a lot of different ways that on small scales, the world can be affected negatively with a relatively small amount of an investment and a large investment in hurting others. Can you imagine the amount of damage that a well-trained, well-practiced veteran or hunter could do? Remember those that Muslim father and son team who in Washington, D.C., I think they were just called the D.C. snipers. How many people they killed and shot, targeted because they were secretive? One, I believe, was in the trunk of the car with the rifle and would shoot at people a ways off. They finally got caught. I don't think their plan was all that well executed, but look out, folks. A little bit of money, you could build one of these electromagnetic devices for yourself. You can affect the power grid yourself. You can affect the water supply system yourself. You can affect the internet. A lot of these veterans, by the way, who come back from places like Afghanistan or Iraq, they're well versed in how to make improvised explosive devices, right? IEDs. Remember that term, IED, when it used to be really popular? They don't hear much about them anymore, do you? I wonder why. I wonder why they're not talking about that. In the meantime, we keep hearing that killing every Russian that they run across is just fine. Just fine. According to, Ukraine and therefore the United States and NATO. Anyways, Charles, thank you much for the comments on the Jacob's Ladder, EMPs, and the fact that our power grid, our cars, and everything can be disrupted if not taken out very quickly. It doesn't have to be a huge EMP blast with a real nuke. It can be done locally to screw with our lives. I tell you what. I want to thank Fuzzy Fork for giving me your theory on mass shootings in video form. I really appreciate all the work that's done. Fuzzy Fork, Orlando, Bonnie Blue. I have a lot of people that submit information to me all the time. And I wish I had more time, folks. I wish I had more time to read and look into everything. But, I need to do some work because YouTube will not allow us to support ourselves here all by YouTube self. Right? Free speech has a price, folks. Free speech, it's not really allowed. But guess what? If you have fuck you money, you can speak as loudly as you want. But that still doesn't guarantee anyone's going to hear you because all they have to do is silence you by impeding everyone else's ability to hear. So the legend Brett Favre has decided he doesn't need to be heard anymore because he decided to speak very loudly and said he stands with Tucker, folks, Tucker Carlson. And he calls on everybody to boycott Fox News. I want to thank Brett Favre for standing up for American liberty and freedom and standing up so that he can be shouted down and silenced and ignored by the mainstream media, sports media, and all media. Fox News boycotted? You bet. You bet. I don't watch Fox. I haven't watched Fox since, 2020. I absolutely refuse to watch Fox. Of course, occasionally I'll get a Fox News story because it suits my agenda. And what is my agenda? My agenda is to help everyone wake up and stay informed and get prepared and understand the world around them. Here they are, this 10-mile radius around you in the middle. That's your world. Now, sometimes your world is more expansive because you travel or because you're listening to the news, right? But your world can get real small, real tight, real fast, right? I really do recommend having walkie-talkies, CBs, radios, world radio, ham radio, all the communication gear you can get. Even if you don't know how to use it, having it is a great idea. The odds are you're going to run into people that know how to use it. Get training with that equipment. It may save your life the same way your gun can save your life, the same way long-term food storage can save your life, the same way water purification can save your life, the same way medication can save your life, the same way good clothing and safe shelter can save your life. Isn't it amazing, folks, how you and I are now on our own? As preppers, we're prepared to be on our own more than anyone else. If you're a hunter, if you are a veteran, you have more things behind you than you normally would. But even the most docile woman who is peace-loving and everything else has the ability to get the training that she would need to protect herself, her family, her pets, her husband, whatever. Everyone has that ability right now, that opportunity right now to get fully prepared, fully trained, fully informed. But are they doing it? Are you doing it? Are you doing all you can to be ready? I think it's a fair question. I think it's a question we should always ask ourselves, right? If Brett Favre is seeing a world that is politicized, right? Two worlds, a bifurcated America where people are pitted against one another by the government and the propagandists and media and the major corporations who want us split. Good job, Budweiser. You pissed everyone off. Go fuck yourselves. What you did was you showed Americans who weren't paying attention that they need to. You gave them reason and cause to stand against woke, and now they have. Now they have. I think we should revisit Coca-Cola, by the way, who says, try not to be so white. Oh yeah, Coke? Go fuck yourselves. All of them, folks. All of them. Thank you, Brett Favre. You will now be silenced forever. And speaking of someone who wants to be silenced, or they want to silence him forever. That's right, Donald Trump, President Trump. In Manhattan. That's right, Manhattan is the same place where Trump was told you're going to be arrested and you're going to stand trial. Right, the criminal case. Well, guess what? They had a civil case brought against him. That's right, in the Jean Carroll case. The woman looks to be like Trump's mother. Now, I don't want to disparage her too much. I just want to say she's not the type of woman that I think Trump is interested in screwing. I think the woman Trump is interested in screwing looks more like his wife Melania, or maybe like the big fat hoe, the woman who calls herself a cum bucket, right? Stormy Daniels. What a disgusting creature, by the way. So Stormy Daniels, yeah, kind of, young and slutty. Maybe that's what Trump, I don't think Trump likes someone who looks like his grandma. Anyways, Jean Carroll, the jury has come back. The jury has come back. They reached a verdict in this case, in this rape and defamation case. Sexual assault case. Do you think, folks, for a second that this is really a jury trial? Or do you think it's another slam? Right? Do you think it's a slam against President Trump in a way to silence him and to try and convince people that he's very bad? Now, in 2019, Jean Carroll alleged that Donald Trump raped her in the 1990s at a Bergdorf Goodman dressing room, whatever the hell that is. But the 9-member jury, yeah, it wasn't 12, it was 9. So it sounds like a civil suit. And in a civil suit, folks, you don't need all of the jury. You don't need every single juror to vote guilty. So in Manhattan, how hard was it for this this panel of 3 women and 6 men? In fact, I don't even know if it was 3 women and 6 men, because we don't know how they were asked if they identify. Anyways, they reached a verdict after 3 hours. It took them 3 hours, right, to determine if there was enough evidence. They don't even have the year right. Most likely in 1996. Really? 1996. Maybe it was 1990. She can't even remember the year. She should know the year, the month, the day, the time of day, and everything else. That should have been burned into her little mind. Instead, it's probably just helped her sell books. Right? One thing after another, folks. It's about silencing America, silencing you. It's going to silence Brett Favre and silence the prepared mind so that we can't communicate. They want to get into your text messages, into your emails. They want to stop us from communicating in every way possible. That's what they want to do. They really do. This is a quick little story, by the way, coming from a Prepared Mind audience member. She said, with regards to the morning video, I researched Berkshire Hathaway and knew they were no good and told my daughter to find a different real estate broker to work for. And she did. Good. That's a great story to know that when you find out who you're working for and who you're benefiting, that you take that power away from them. You take that money away from them. Boycotting them, folks, in every single fashion is what we should be doing. We really should. People should stand up like Brett Favre. You don't need fuck you money to do it. I do not have fuck you money, by the way. I just give them the big fucking bird because they deserve it. They really do, folks. All right, Uman, where do we want to go next? Who has something to say? And it is Mr. X. Welcome back, Mr. X. He says, John, we have no more USA, no more United States of America, when we don't know who or what is coming across the border. What we have is there. Yeah, we don't have a USA. What we have is a free-for-all. It's up for grabs. It's up for grabs. By the way, Tucker Carlson is speaking out. He has now decided that he is going to have a new show. He used Twitter to do so. And he is accusing Fox of fraud and breach of contract. And I think that's great. I guess he consulted with his lawyers. And I think we need Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson, Mr. X, was big on exposing the southern border. He was big on questioning the Ukraine crap. He was big on addressing the woke nonsense. You may not love Tucker Carlson, but he did a lot of good things. And I think that's important, right? We can't all be 100% in love with Trump, but we can certainly see that he's done good things, right? And for people who want to criticize everybody, including yours truly, what have you done? How have you stood up? How have you made a difference? How have you fought back? What have you sacrificed? What have you gained to help America? I'm doing what I can. And it doesn't, you know, I can't tell you folks, when I was in California, I thought, man, you know, if I didn't have to do the Prepared Mind channel, I could do a lot more chilling. I could do a lot more relaxing. I could just sit back and not give a fuck and just enjoy my rum, right? Enjoy my drink, swing in a hammock for a couple extra hours a day. Instead, I sit glued, folks, fucking glued to the computer, to the phone, taking calls, text messages, emails, listening to everyone else tell me their thoughts, their ideas, giving everyone all the time that I can. Instead, I do that instead of just fucking chilling. But it was neat to have a little chill time this weekend when I spent time with my family. I enjoyed the hell out of it. But I feel duty bound to come here and do this job. And I need your support 110%. Okay, 100%. We all know that the math doesn't work at 110%. But you guys really have supported what it is I'm up to. I am. Okay, let us continue if we shall. We've got just a few more minutes on this. Another edition of Too Much Tuesday on the Prepared Mind channel. All right, and by the way, I hope everyone enjoyed the live broadcast. I was standing at the end of a fence, ready to go out into what I call the jungle. Okay, let's do this. Man, what do you got, buddy? We've got Cyber Hana, who says, as a senator, Biden voted every time to tax Social Security. First 20%, then 50%, then 80%. That's right. Biden really doesn't give a shit about anybody except himself. And, well, the government. He wants the government to have more power. He wants the government to have more authority. He wants the government to have more of your money. Isn't it funny how Social Security that is paid by the government to us, they have complete and total control over the money they give us back if we manage to get to retirement age. And then they tax that at whatever rate and whatever rules they want to put on it to just smash you down and hold you there. They require you, and I still don't understand this. How the fuck does the government require you after a certain age to get their stinking, smelly, shitty Medicare and pay through the fucking nose for it? Since when do they have the right, the ability to do anything? Tell you what, they can suck it. It's all going to come to a screeching fucking halt at some point. People are, hey, why can't I get my Social Security? Why can't I get my Medicare? Why can't I get my VA benefits? Why can't I get the stuff I paid for? Why can't I have the government I thought I had? And I'll tell you, it's because you, me, us, none of us were able to stop these fuckers from doing what they're doing to this country. But if they can't, folks, if they can't take us all, right, they'll destroy it all. Interesting. Interesting that Tucker Carlson's former producer, Abby Grossberg, has now withdrawn her lawsuit against Fox News. I wonder why. Interesting stuff, folks. Interesting stuff is going to continue to let us know what's happening. Ooh, man, I think we got another one. What do we got rolling, buddy? Oh, it's Heidi, who says, I saw where Governor Abbott is deploying 10,000 troops, but I didn't get to read it. Am I wrong? I don't know what the exact number of troops is, but they are a border protection force. That's basically the gist of it. I mean, it could be 10,000, it could be 5,000, it could be 1,000. I know the Governor Abbott, the picture they used, he's sitting in a wheelchair and shaking the hands of the troops protecting Texas. I really hope it is 10,000. And it's 10,000 on the fucking border. But that would require people behind them. So, I mean, here's the deal with something. When you see a Marine Expeditionary Unit, or you see, any unit of the military that's in the front lines fighting, it takes another, I think the number is another 8 soldiers or 8 Marines to support that one Marine at the front line with food, fuel, ammunition, right? Whatever tools are needed to get the job done, there's a support system. And that support system also needs food and fuel and a place to stay, etc. So there's a lot of support that goes under everyone. So putting and deploying 10,000 troops, I don't know what percentage of them are going to be on the border. That is to say, chasing down and running down illegals trying to get across. And I want to bring this up. Remember, folks, remember that border patrol agent who was on a horse, who was running down that illegal Haitian alien. And he was trying to corral him, and he was holding some rope and swinging it over his head as he was chasing this guy. And that picture got that guy fired. And the Biden administration looked into pressing charges, a hate crime, saying he was whipping the guy. It's amazing what a picture can show you, correct? It's amazing what, shall we say, deductions and conclusions you can draw from looking at one picture based on your personal perspective, your fears, your anger, your hate, what you believe you see. Right? You only see a flash of moment in a picture. That moment is come and gone so quickly you can't believe it. But people will believe what they see and say, I saw it with my own eyes. I saw the picture. What did you really see? What was shown to you was a piece of evidence of one single point in history. And oftentimes we'll show that piece of evidence with the intent of using it to influence people. Right? The thumbnails that we put up on these videos, they're created to make you think a certain way. I do have an agenda. It's to get people prepared and to understand how evil government is. And I'm not the first one to say government is evil. You can go all the way back to President Reagan if you wish, or you can go all the way back to the founding fathers, and they'll let you know how evil government is in their own words. So I'm not making it up. I'm not the one blazing a trail here. Many people have come before me and said, yeah, government, evil, bad. Look at where we're at. Look at where you're at. And by the way, Ann Navarro from The View, with all the other idiots there, says that blacks and Hispanics are not, quote, immune from being white supremacists. That's right, folks. Oh, you can be white supremacist if you hate yourself and you're black. Folks, it's incredible how anti-intelligent left-wing morons are. Expect more from them. And I hope more of them realize how they're screwing themselves over. And they're going to screw themselves out of a job. The same way all these stores are training their human beings. They're training their own employees to teach people to check out and sell or buy their own goods without their help. Ultimately, everyone will be trained to give their money away without having a clerk at the store. Now, any way you look at it, folks, chance favors the prepared mind. The big question is, are you prepared? God bless America. Semper Fi.